Yes now, bless now, don't forget the rest now. There's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV signing in. We're looking into the history of System of a Down, and now we're moving onwards to the era of 2001 to 2003, but we probably might not get as late as 2003 because we're going to stop at Toxicity today, alright? We're not going to go on to steal this album. On September the 3rd, 2001, System of a Down planned to launch their second album at a free concert in Hollywood as a thank you to fans. The concert, which was to be held in a parking lot, was set up to accommodate. It sounds like a nightmare. It sounds like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? Already was set up to accommodate 3,500 people. However, an estimated 10,000 to 15,000 fans showed up. Health and safety nightmare. Due to the large excess number of fans, the performance was cancelled by fire marshals just before the group took to the stage without announcement of the cancellation. Fans waited for more than an hour for the group to appear, but when a banner hung at the back of the stage that read System of a Down was removed by security, the audience rushed the stage, destroying all of the band's touring gear, approximately £30,000 worth. This is promotion, eh? And began to riot, throwing rocks at police, breaking windows, and knocking over portable toilets. The riot lasted 6 hours, during which 6 arrests were made. The band's manager, David Benveniste, later said that the riot could have been avoided if the group had been permitted to perform. Well, they couldn't, let's be real. There's a cap at venues and so forth for a reason. People get crushed, and I hate to say it because I was young and I put shows on, right? I put dangerous events. Well, I haven't put dangerous events on. Let's take that back. I've disagreed with the capacity on some events and sort of gone out of my way to sort of disallow it. But I was younger and didn't know. You know what I mean? Nah, don't worry. No one's gonna get hurt. It's punk rock. Don't work that way, does it? Don't work that way. If you go into that crowd head first, you know what I mean? Could die, man. Band's manager said that later could be avoided if the group permitted to perform, or had they been allowed to make a statement at the concert regarding the cancellation, as if they were allowed to make a comment. System of a Down scheduled in-store performance the next day was cancelled to prevent a similar riot. The group's big break arrived when their second album, Toxicity, debuted at number one on the American and Canadian charts. The album has eventually achieved 3 times multi-platinum certification in the US. It was still on top in America during the week of the 9/11 attacks, which supposedly is when God Hates Us All came out by Slayer. So there you go. The political environment caused by the attacks added to the controversy surrounding the album's hit single Chop Suey. Right. The song was taken off the radio as it contained politically sensitive lyrics, according to the 2001 Clear Channel memorandum at the time, such as I don't think you trust in my self-righteous suicide. Wow! Regardless, the video gained constant play on MTV, as did the album's second single, Toxicity. The toxicity in our city. Even with the controversy surrounding Chop Suey, which had the Grammy nomination, says that it's all promo in it. System of a Down still received constant airplay in the US for late 2001 and 2002 with Toxicity and Aerials. In May 2006, VH1 listed Toxicity in the number 14 slot in the 40 greatest metal songs. That is absolute rubbish. Toxicity number 14 on the 40 greatest metal songs. That is rubbish. That is not worthy of that position. I'm sorry. Sorry, Swordheads. It's not. It's not. It's not. Even when it comes to System of a Down, that's not worth 14. There's other songs that could take that place from Sword. 2001, the band went on tour with Slipknot. Should I be even reading this far? Let's do this last paragraph. So in 2001, the band went on tour with Slipknot throughout the US. Following a performance in the Grand Rapids, Michigan, Adagian was allegedly harassed, ethnically intimidated, and was physically assaulted by security guards backstage, who then dragged him out of the venue. Adagian received medical attention from police and later filed a suit against the security company. Fair shot. Despite the incident, the tour was a success, and System of a Down and Slipknot went on to pledge the allegiance to Ramstar. Did he win the suit? That's what I want to know. Did he win the suit, and how much did he take off of him? Yeah, they're the details I'm interested in right now. So let's have a look at the record. Toxicity is... Ooh, wow, we've got a little bit of info on this. We've got a little bit of info on this. Yeah, let's get into it then. So, Toxicity is the second studio album by American heavy metal band Sold, released on American Recordings and Columbia Records. Expanding on their 98 eponymous debut, it incorporated more melody, harmonies, and singing than the band's first album. Categorized primarily as alt metal and nu metal, Toxicity features elements of multiple genres, including folk, prog rock, jazz, and Armenian and Greek music, including prominent use of instruments like the sitar, banjo, keyboards, and piano. It contains a wide array of political and non-political themes, such as mass incarceration, the CIA, the environment, police brutality, drug addiction, scientific reductionism, and groupies. What's this scientific reductionism then? It's any of several related philosophical ideas regarding the associations between phenomena which can be described in terms of other simple or more fundamental phenomena. Alright. Bit too deep for me, that, to be fair. Toxicity was recorded at Cello Studios in Hollywood, California. Over 30 songs were recorded, but the band narrowed the number of songs on the album to 14. So what happened with the other? Let's find out, shall we? So, the album peaked at number 1 on both the Billboard 200 and the Canadian Albums chart, selling 220,000 copies in its first week of release. It was certified 6 times platinum by the recording industry in July 2022, meaning it has shipped at least 6 million copies in the US. All of Toxicity's singles reached the Billboard Hot 100. The final single, Aerials, went to number 1 on both the mainstream rock tracks and the modern rock tracks charts. Toxicity received highly positive ratings and reviews from critics, among them perfect ratings from AllMusic, Kerrang, and Blabbermouth. Not perfect ratings. Many critics praised the album's sound and innovation, and it ranked on multiple year-end lists. Producer, we got Rick Rubin. We've even got credits to Darren and Serge himself as far as the creation of the record. That's pretty cool, eh? The promotional shows for Toxicity we've gone so far into this, but it resulted in a number of controversial incidents. 6-hour riot. Another scheduled System of a Down performance included the racial profiling and physical altercation in regards to the security. So let's keep moving, right? We've got a little quote from Darren himself speaking about Toxicity's sound. He says, "Going into it, I knew Serge wanted to sing more, so I guess that was kind of a progression and an evolution for the band. I wanted to do all that, yet not lose the heaviness of the band, and I guess the hard punk metal aspect. You could lose that sometimes when you get a little too eclectic, so we were just trying to balance that fine line and not lose the fans." Well, you know what? I think the addition of the singing to the act really created something right, you know what I mean? The sing-along value to Toxicity is incredible. Primarily, alright, yep. System of a Down guitarist Darren said that he wanted to add a bit more harmony for himself in the songs that required tastefully mixing in some softer guitars between the really heavy parts. Great dynamics. Malekian also cited the Beatles as an influence on Toxicity. Sounds of instruments other than drums, vocals, electric guitar and bass guitar, such as sitar, banjo, keyboards and piano, are also featured on Toxicity. The majority of the album's music was written in the tuning of Drop C. Get that heaviness. System of a Down recorded over 30 numbers, but narrowed the number of songs to 14. Several of these recorded songs that make it onto Toxicity were re-recorded for System of a Down's next studio album, Steal This Album, which was released in 2002. Do you know why Steal This Album wasn't as popular as Toxicity? Because they left the crap songs for that record. I don't know why bands choose to do that. It's just it's a bad idea, isn't it? Toxicity was recorded at Cello Studios in Hollywood, California, mixed at Enterprise Studios at Burbank, California, and mastered at Oasis Mastering in Studio City, California. According to System of a Down bassist Shavo, or Shavo perhaps, the song Chop Suey is about drug addiction, but System of a Down took something really serious and made it a little quacky. System of a Down vocalist Serge Tankian compared the song to Guns N' Roses' Mr. Brownstone, not Mr. Brown Sound. Prison Song is about mass incarceration. Serge Tankian said it's about the unfairness of the mandatory minimum sentences and how there are about 2 million Americans in jail, and a lot of them are in there for marijuana possession and things of that sort. Tankian said that Prison Song also addresses how drug money is used to rig elections in other countries by the CIA. Has this band got any correlation in relation to the CIA? Because they talk on it a lot. And I wanna know if any of the members of the band are actually linked with some sort of three-letter organization, because you know people can't release too much information and get so successful at the same time. There's always like a crossover. You know what I mean? Needles is about maybe they were just so ambiguous with the way they put it out there and conceptualized it that it wasn't really deemed a problem, because I never picked up on it. Needles is about pulling a tapeworm out of your ass. Bounce is about group sex. Interesting, I didn't know that. Psycho is about groupies. Atwa, an acronym for Air, Trees, Water, Animals, is about Charles Manson's belief on the environment. Malakian has said that Manson is in jail for the wrong reasons. I think he had an unfair trial. Dear Dance is about the protests surrounding the 2000 Democratic National Convention, which I don't know anything about. Right, we got a lot of information, so I'll see you on the flip side. We're going to do a part 2 on this one, alright? Peace and love. Shout out to all the soul deads. Come on.